All right, hello, welcome to the Leadership Jetway. I'm Ben, and I'm all about helping new leaders make a flying start by sharing some of the things I've learned in 15 years of actually doing leadership. And I'm really excited to be here with you this evening. If you are watching live, thank you so much for choosing to spend some time with me this evening. That's fantastic. And if you're watching the replay, welcome to you too. I see you too, and I'm really grateful for you being here. We're going to talk this evening about a leadership productivity system. Essentially, I'm going to be kind of knitting together the stuff from my last 4 videos that I've put onto YouTube and showing you how they all fit into each other to create a leadership productivity system. Because I really know what it's like for new leaders, especially. Suddenly you're in that management role and everybody wants a piece of you. Everybody wants some of your time. Everything comes to you and you need to act on it, and you need to act on it right now, please. Please get into this stuff with us. And it can be exhausting and overwhelming. And you can end up feeling like you're not really getting anything done. You're not getting the stuff done that matters. So I'm going to show you today, basically the way it works. I'm going to show you 2 things you need to know and 3 things you need to do to make time for the work that matters, to get stuff done, to get noticed, and get your career moving. That's what it's all about today. So let's jump into it. The first thing you need to know is the difference between urgent and important. So much of that stuff coming at you all day, every day is urgent. It's really, really important that it happens right now. Somebody's going on at you. It's urgent that it's happening right now. And what the trick that we have to get to is to look at everything that comes in through the lens of this matrix. Some people call it the urgent important matrix. Some people call it the Eisenhower matrix. But basically, everything coming at you is either urgent or important or both. But some things are less important and some things are less urgent. And what happens as you step into that leadership role is everything coming at you usually sits somewhere in this urgent pile. But the trick is that some of it is much less important for you to be doing. But what happens is, as you look at that stuff, it gets you feeling overwhelmed. All of that stuff piling in at you all the time. Do this, do this, do this. The sum of the urgency gets you overwhelmed. So how do you deal with that? Well, the trick is to try and get out of doing the work that's in this less important but still urgent phase and move yourself up into this important but less urgent place. Because we all have stuff that is important but less urgent. If you just think about your life for a minute, exercise, it's always important. It's very rarely urgent that you exercise, right? That's an example of something that really keeps you on an even keel, keeps you at your fittest and your best, doing your best work, but it's always going to get pushed out by urgent stuff if you let it. So the big secret here, the big secret to dealing with this is that you need to delegate stuff from this less important but still urgent and schedule time for the important but less urgent, because scheduling it is the only way you're going to get up there. And delegating this stuff is the only way you're going to make time to get up there into that corner. So that's the first thing you need to know. Thinking about everything that comes at you as whether it's urgent or important. Okay. Next thing you need to know, 80% of your impact comes from 20% of your effort. So crucial, this 80-20 idea. And this comes from an Italian economist in the 1800s. He realized that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by just 20% of the people. And it's been observed this thing continues and carries on, and it's true in all sorts of different areas of leadership and management. So the way I've phrased it in here, 80% of your impact comes from 20% of your effort. And so if you want to be an 80-20 leader, you need to be focusing on that all the time. You need to be finding the 20% of stuff that delivers 80% of your impact. You need to be finding the 20% of your team's work that delivers 80% of their impact into the rest of the organization. And you need to really focus on that. You need to focus your team on that, okay? So that's the second thing you need to know. 80% of your impact comes from 20% of your work. So what's next? The next thing is the first thing you need to do is get control of your inbox, all right? So we've figured out that we need to spend time on the stuff that's important but less urgent, and we need to be identifying within that space the stuff that is really going to bring your most impact. And in order to do that, you need to have control of your inbox. You can't get yourself into this sort of situation where you've got piles and piles of stuff coming at you all the time and it's just sitting there waiting for you to get around to it. You need a system. So the system I'm going to give you goes like this. You need to ask 3 questions for everything that comes across your desk, whether it's people coming to talk to you, whether it's stuff coming into your email inbox, whether it's customers needing stuff from you. 3 questions for everything, okay? Number 1, is it so important that I need to drop everything? Number 2, can I delegate it? And number 3, can I do it in less than 2 minutes? And if the answer to any of these questions is yes, well, then you get on with it and you do it, okay? If it's crucial, if it's quick, or if you can delegate it, do that. Everything else you reserve for tomorrow. Now, I know it's kind of really traditional to say never put off until tomorrow something that you can get done today. Except, actually, if you really want to have time to focus on what matters, you have to put off till tomorrow everything that you can. Do the quick things, do the crucial things, delegate what you can. Everything else gets put off till tomorrow. And then, if you've got a system for doing that in place and you're working on that, the next thing you need to do is you need to plan every day around key priorities. So you've got a sense of the stuff that's most important, even if it's less urgent. You've got a sense of that. You know where 80% of your impact comes from and you're focusing on that. You've got control of the stuff that's coming at you all the time through the day. You now need a plan for how to handle that. And I've kind of set one up in a daily checklist. Okay, so there's this daily checklist. You can get it at leadershipjetway.com/checklist. It's free. You just go and download it. And what it does is it asks you a collection of questions. And what you should do is at the end of every day, you ask yourself these questions to get ready for the next day. Okay? And the 2 most important questions in there are, what's the most important thing I need to do? And what else have I got to get done? So the most important thing is your important but not urgent thing that you know is really important for you. The what else have I got to get done is the pile of stuff that you reserved for tomorrow. And you might have other things going on. You might have meetings in the diary, other things happening. But at the end of the day, you look at that stuff that you've reserved for tomorrow and you think, how much time do I need to deal with that? And you have to create the time to deal with that work, as well as scheduling time for that most important thing, whatever it is, okay? So now what you've got is you've got a system for controlling everything that comes in, and you've got a daily approach to planning what you're going to do every day. Now you're really getting on top of stuff. Now you know you're focusing on the work that matters. You've got a system for dealing with the urgent stuff, splitting it into important and less important, handling it, setting some of it aside for the next day, dealing with the crucial things, dealing with the quick things, delegating what you can. You've got that system in place. The last element, the third thing that you need, is to always have a leadership impact project running alongside your daily grind. And I put it like this because it's not enough to just get done everything that needs to get done. Okay, if you're in a leadership role, you're probably a manager of some kind or another, and that means you've got to get everything done, get it done right, get it done on time, right? You've got all of that stuff. You've got a collection of responsibilities that you've got to fulfill as a manager, and that's fine. But in your next job interview for a leadership position, you don't want to just say, well, in my job, I've made sure that we did everything right, we did it on time, and we got everything that I was supposed to get done. Please hire me for this leadership role. In doing that, you haven't really shown any leadership. You've shown a lot of management ability, and you've got everything done, and that's hard and difficult, and I don't want to put that down because it's really important work. But if you want to be demonstrating leadership, you want to be able to point to something where you've had an impact. So you need to find a leadership impact project. And the sorts of things I'm talking about there are, what are the changes you want to make? What are the processes you want to revamp for your organization so that it saves your people time or makes it easier to do? What is the new product you want to bring to your marketplace, or the new approach to doing something that's going to make your customers' lives easier, whether those are real customers that buy things for you or your customers elsewhere in the organization? What are the problems you want to fix for your team? What are the opportunities you want to take advantage of? You've got to find something like that to be working on, and that's probably going to be in your important but not urgent space. But you've got to have something to work on so that when you've done it, you can say, we saw this problem, we fixed it together, and this is the impact of that. And we saw this opportunity and we did this. We brought in this new piece of software and it changed how we process our invoices overnight. Those sorts of things are where you have some leadership impact, okay? So that's your third element of your system. And you might be thinking, well, Ben, how do we find what a leadership impact project is, and how do we do it in the context of being really busy and you know, there's so much stuff happening. How do I make time for that? Well, I've got a solution to that for you. It's called my Jetstart workshop. Again, it's free. Go and register for that at leadershipjetway.com/Jetstart. It's 10-12 minutes of really, really tight focused training, kind of like this, with some slides and me talking. And I take you through, I talk a little bit more about that kind of difference between leadership and management that I just got into there, and give you an exact, specific 3-step process to find a leadership project by engaging with your team and actually delivering that project one step at a time. Even if you're crazy busy, even if you can only make half an hour a day or 15 minutes a day to work on it, you can have that project ticking along using the process that I set out in this workshop, okay? Would really like it if you go and watch that, because I think it'd be great for you and really take your leadership to the next level, okay? So there it is. That, you see, is my leadership productivity system, right? The difference between urgent and important, the 80-20 principle, have a system for controlling your inbox, have a system for planning every day, and always have an impact project ticking along alongside your daily work. Okay, so at that point, I would love it if any of you are here live, and I'm looking at these brilliant. I'm so excited to see all of these comments in here. Thank you so much. If anybody has got any questions, I've got some time now to have some questions. While people are thinking about that and typing some things, if you are watching on the replay, please drop a comment into this. Please drop a comment in, and I will endeavour to answer your question in the comments. I've got my cafe from Leadership with Mike. It's very, very proper mug with proper cafe in it. If there are any questions, doesn't look like there are any questions coming in. Love to see Productivity A saying my team is focused on impact rather than goals and objectives. Fantastic thing to do. Really, really important. Grow Up Leadership saying so many get bogged down with constant firefighting. Absolutely. You have to lift yourself up from that. You have to schedule the time to lift yourself up from that. That's exactly what you've got to do. That's what Mike was going to. Leadership with Mike said that's what I was going to ask. I think he was going to ask where you get this coffee mug. If you head over to Leadership with Mike channel, you can find one of his coffee mugs, a really quality coffee mug. All right, look, thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Go over, grab hold, take yourself over and have a look at that Jetstart workshop. It's at leadershipjetway.com/Jetstart. I'm going to have my coffee, and I will see you next time here at the Leadership Jetway. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. Take care. Bye.